because you're too old. I want to change my life. All the good ones are taken.
Hola friends, I'm Peter Nasanov and I'm here to help you live your best life. This is the second part of the series where we're talking about why we don't have what we want and what to do about it. In the previous video, I've already answered this question and even elaborated on it profusely. It all comes down to the lack of action. We simply don't take the steps necessary to create the desired outcome. In this video, we'll inquire into why we don't take the steps that yield the results we're dreaming of. Let me start by asking a question. Would you like to win a lottery? Like, wouldn't it be cool if you hit a jackpot of $100 million? Heck, let's go for it. $1 billion. Just imagine what you could do with all the money. Now let me ask you this. How many lottery tickets did you buy this past month? That's what I'm talking about. Most of us wouldn't mind winning a lottery, and most of us don't even buy lottery tickets that much. What's the takeaway here? Where it's a subtle but a very important distinction. We act not based on what we want, but based on what we expect. To give you some comfort, I'm actually gonna say that not buying lottery tickets every day is actually reasonable given the odds of winning that much money. But it's beside the point. What I wanted you to see in that example is how our expectations determine our actions. Problem is that what we want and what we expect are often completely different. What is an expectation? It's a strong belief that something will be the case in the future. I expect it to happen. It's whether or not you think you're gonna get what you want. Having an expectation that's different from what you want isn't just the reason you don't buy lottery tickets. It's actually the reason you have a lot of things that you want, but you can't quite seem to attain them. I wish I could say this behavior is uncommon, but having coached a lot of people, the request that I hear most often is, I want to change my life. And as we start working, the statement expands and emerges into, I want to change my life, but I don't really believe I can. I've seen people give up on their relationships, their health, their careers and businesses, give up on their whole lives because they didn't believe they could get what they wanted. So they never made decision to really try. Right now, think about something that you want in your life, but you aren't really sure you can get it, and so you're holding back. You want to travel the world, but you don't expect that you'll have enough time or money or the right companions to do so. You want to escape 9 to 5, but you don't really expect that you'll be able to find that business that truly lights you up, grow it to a point where you can quit your 9 to 5, wave goodbye to your boss, become your own CEO, making a ton of money and living the life that you love. You want it, but you don't expect it. You want to find your dream partner, but you don't really expect to meet someone special because people have lost their ability to connect outside of the online world. Or because all the good ones are taken. Or how about because you're too old, right? Finally, you want to learn Spanish, Español, or Chinese. But you don't really expect that you'll have enough discipline, enthusiasm, and persistence to study every day. You get the idea. Those are just few examples. See if you can notice this happening in your own life. Think about something you want and dig up the expectations about it. What's underneath? If you're honest with yourself, what you'll realize is that you don't take massive action because deep down, you don't really believe you can succeed with it. Now, let's continue peeling the layers of confusion and get into the core of it. In the video called How to Find Your Passion Part 1, I'll put the link to that video in the end of this one. I said that our brain works as an anticipation machine, adding the past to the present to create its concept of the future. And all of that happens without the need to engage conscious thought. If you walk down the street and you hear barking, you expect to see a dog most of the time. Sometimes this happens. Anyway, we use the past knowledge to predict the future. I'll tell you more. Let me share an excerpt from a research with you. Neuroimaging studies have revealed that when people remember the past or imagine the future, similar levels of activation are observed in regions including medial temporal and frontal lobes, posterior cingulate and retrosplenial cortex, Lord Jesus, and lateral parietal and temporal areas. Did you just hear
Blah, 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 blah.
I know. Let me say it in plain English. When you think about the future, the same part of the brain gets activated as when you think about the past. So, future, past, same. But it would be a mistake to say that it's the past that's actually holding you back. The reality is that you automatically, on the background, without engaging conscious thought, make projections and form expectations that prevent you from believing that your future can be better. What happens next? Those subconscious expectations also affect our emotions. If we expect to get a reward, we feel a positive emotion, like joy or happiness. On the contrary, if we don't expect to get what we want, we feel sad, upset, disappointed. The bigger the gap between what we want and what we expect, the bigger stress we feel, especially when it comes to things that matter to us. So what are we gonna do with all of this? Do you have any ideas? What would you do to resolve the conflict between wanting and expecting? Shocker, right? Not supposed to ask you, I'm supposed to tell you. Maybe that's part of the problem. If you want to grow as a person, make an effort to think. It's good for your brain, because watching these videos thoughtlessly is useless in terms of changing your life for the better. Get actively involved. Let's wrap up and summarize what we've covered so far. In part 1, we learned that we don't have what we want because we don't take the steps necessary to achieve desired results. Today, in part 2, we've expanded our understanding, and now we know that we don't take those necessary steps to achieve the desired result because we don't act based on what we want. As humans, we act based on what we expect. The problem is, what we want and what we expect are often totally different, which is confusing because the process of forming those expectations is largely unconscious. We don't expect to succeed, and we don't even know it. Sound like a cul-de-sac, right? Not really. In the next video, I'll share my strategy on how to resolve the conflict between wanting and expecting, how to eliminate stress and encourage action. In the meantime, think about it yourself and share your ideas in the comments below. That's the only way to grow. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!